Welcome back to another part. In this video we are going to be disassembling the engine. So part 2 is going to be engine disassembly, part 3 is going to be reassembly and testing and doing all your bearing checks. So let's get into it. Alright, so with that we rotated the motor over. Now we're going to remove these 12mm bolts. It's going to be all these ones on the outside to take off the oil pan so that we can get to our pistons and rods. This is going to be the 10mm for the lower oil pan. I have a Z1 spacer, so that's also going to come off. There's going to be, I believe, 2 bolts on the inside that are still holding in the upper oil pan. Take off the harmonic balancer. I think that's a 19 or 17 right there. And mine, I've had pretty good luck. They kind of just come off, but I would definitely recommend getting an impact for that. If you have a wrench, you gotta lock up the flywheel somehow. So what I would suggest is putting a bolt here that'll run into one of these bars, and that should hold it steady. But be careful not to snap anything. With that off, you're gonna remove this cover right here. It's gonna be 6 10mm bolts. Again, keep everything together. So when you take it off all these back into their respective bolt holes. Kind of see why I'm taking this apart right here. This is really gummy oil, and I think that was through the entire engine. So keep it all together. Same thing with the oil pan. All the bolts are still on. Keep that right there. We're gonna remove the rotating assembly. Already there. It's been one day. All right, so I've been banging on this balancer bolt for 20 minutes now, and I figured out a way to do it without the flywheel in the back. So there's also the rope method. Somebody recommended it. I couldn't get the rope through the spark plug hole. You put this at the lowest center, feed this through, then you crank it, and it'll eventually cap out and start to compress the rope. And then from there, you can take the bolt out because it won't allow it to go any higher. Or you can take the trusty old Pittsburgh flathead screwdriver and throw it between the cylinder. Make sure it's a rubber handle. I'm sure it's strong enough to take this much force, but then you got to get yourself a 4-foot long aluminum pole. Put your foot on the back right there because it was tipping the entire thing. That's how strong this bolt is, but I just got it, and yeah, it was a pretty simple way. It took me about 4 minutes after I tried that method. With that balancer off, I'm going to take off all these 10mm bolts all the way around the edge of the thermostat. There's going to be 2 in the oil pan. We should have taken those off already earlier. There's going to be 4 right there, 1 right there, and 1 under this bolt. After that's done, you can move the timing cover. Then we're going to take off all the chains, tensioners, and everything. We're going to have to retime it at the end. So since I am taking off the camshafts to get the head off, I'm not worried about timing it right now. So we'll redo that all when it's done. All right, with that cover off, so I did it in a way so every single bolt is still in there. Just carefully take it off. You'll never forget where a bolt goes. Now, we're gonna work on all these tensioners. This chain seems very stiff. It's very good. So that's a pretty good chain, pretty good tensioners. We'll retain these. And then figure something out with the bias, possibly deleting it. Keep you updated on that one. Over here, you're gonna remove these caps. It's gonna be 4 10mm bolts on both sides, and then these will pry off. I'll let you get to this top tensioner right there, and then that's it. All right, so you're gonna take the chain off by taking off the tensioner right here, the one on top, the one on the side. How you take them off, grab some pins, safety pins, thumbtacks, sewing needles in my case, and you're gonna push the connector up and pin it so it stays in place, so that'll loosen up your chain. With these, you do that, and then you just wiggle them out, and they'll slide right out. I don't want it to fall because I only have one hand, but just pin it, wiggle it back and forth, and they'll slide right out, and that'll allow you to take out your camshafts. Next, you're gonna take off 500,000 10mm bolts. Anyone you see, just take it off. You can take off your water pump. We're replacing our oil pump with a Nismo one, so that should flow a little bit better. Once that's off, I'm gonna peel it back. You'll be able to get to these tabs right here. Or actually, I'm sorry, peel these off. Then you're gonna unscrew this tensioner. There's gonna be 2 bolts right there, same as on this side. Then that'll allow you to pull the front cover off. With that off, so now we have the cam bearings. So all of these, unscrew them, 3 on each side, 6 bolts on each cam. Then I label each cam. So 4, 3, 2, 1. So these are the 2 intakes, 2 and 3. In between, 4 and 1 are the exhaust. Label the cam, and as well as place them in order, head on. So set them somewhere where you're not gonna mix it up. As for these bearings, you want them in the same place. From the factory, I don't know how well you can see that, they say letters. So on that side it goes A, B, C, D, E, F, and then it goes G. It skips H and I because they look similar, and goes to J, K, L, M, N. So that's how you rearrange them. But just to be extra safe, I am just gonna place them. I'm gonna take them off, remove the cam, and then place them right back. All right, and then we take the oil pump off. It's just 3 bolts. You're gonna remove this little gear and slide off the pump. I put the gear back on just so I don't lose it. Try to just keep all these oil rings seated. We don't really need to touch any of that, but always come back to make sure they're still there when you put the engine back together. So now we're gonna get our Allen key and start breaking the head nuts off. I'm sure there's a way to do this properly, but I am just gonna wing it because I'm gonna get the head resurfaced. All right, and with that, you got 6 head bolts. They're just to get off, but once they are off, the head is loose. You're gonna slide the head off. As you take all these internal parts off, inspect them and make sure there's not any unnecessary wear. Depending on the mileage of your engine, this should be a little bit. These valve cabs are clean. They look very good. There's no scoring whatsoever. So just keep checking for that. But with the heads off, that just leaves us with the block and the crankcase. With the heads off, you can inspect the head gasket, check for any possible spots where it did fail. I did order new head gaskets because it's too deep in the motor for me to want to do something wrong here. This one looks okay. It's kind of rough to tell because all the gasket material is stuck to the block, but either way, we'll get that figured out. We'll rotate this engine around and look at the underside and start taking apart the case. All right, so now we got the block, everything stripped off. The only thing left is the pistons. So these do have a bit of grime in it, and before you turn over the engine, make sure you get all that off so you don't score the walls. So I got a bunch of engine degreaser, an AutoZone loaner piston ring compressor, rubber mallet to help tap them out, and every cleaning thing I need, and a Gatorade. So we're gonna clean out each cylinder, make sure there's nothing that's gonna scratch it up. You're going to need to take off the crankcase bolts, which is going to be an E14. So it's this socket right here. It's an inverted Torx. So, or external Torx. So that will take off your bottom portion, and I'll record that. Yeah, so I'm not too sure what I did wrong here, but this one's broken, this one's about to break, this one's about to break, this one's about to break, and that one's about to break. All the other ones came off with some force, just crisscross how I'm supposed to, but these ones, for some reason, just using a breaker bar, no impacting, they just decided to take a piss. So I think what I'm gonna do is grind them off. I'm just worried I'm gonna hit the case, but it's not really much I can do. I don't really know why that happened, but it did. So try to figure something out here. I have the right tool. It's an E14 external Torx. When I put it on there and I start turning, it starts twisting the top. That's what happened to each and every one of these. So they're already a couple degrees spun, so I know they're gonna give. They're not gonna be strong enough to keep going on them. So yeah, gotta figure that one out. All right, after about an hour and a half, I got it off. It took forever, but it's off. So let's see where I placed it. These are all the bolts. I had to grind the tops off, all the ones that were stuck. Be as careful as I could so I don't damage the casing. Then after the top's off, you could just unscrew them by hand. There's no more tension on the bolts, so they just come right out. It was such a bitch. This is the case. There is some scoring, so I gotta make sure I sand that down and make it level before we put it back on. This part doesn't rotate, so I think it should be fine. It's just one of those things, gotta figure it out. So we're gonna take off the crankshaft bearings, and they're numbered. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So front of the engine, this is the pulley side, crank pulley. This is part of the engine faces is on the passenger side of the car. The other side's on the driver. And just make sure you line those up in the proper way so you know how they go back. Then we're gonna remove the rods. All right, so we labeled each one of the pistons. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. From the front where the passenger side and crankshaft pulley are. So label them. I'm gonna scrub each one of these pistons. I already did a little bit, so they're a lot more clean. So we're gonna write the number on the side once they're out, just so we don't mix it up. If you're gonna swap out your pistons too, I'm just doing rods. You can do that now once the whole thing's out. Swap the rod and the piston. I am just doing the rods. The pistons on these are pretty damn strong from factory, and they can support well over what I'm putting into it. So check the make sure they look good, but if they're good, they're good. It's going to be a 10mm 12-point socket to get the rods out. So I loosened them all up, I flipped the motor over, and then I labeled them. With that done, we can start removing each and every one of these. Make sure you label and always keep the pair. And yeah, so we'll take all those off. Inspect your bearing surfaces. No scoring at all. That's great. Love to see that. So I'll probably reuse the stock bearings. But yeah. All right, so we got every single piston out, laid out. We gotta check the bearings. The bearings on those don't look too great, so I'll probably get some OEM ones or some performance ones. As for the crankshaft, we're just gonna leave it in. You're gonna get a razor blade, and you're gonna peel all the silicone off, get your engine degreaser. Mine's filled with metal shavings after that whole bolt mishap. So I gotta thoroughly clean this, get every single oil channel, and make sure there's no scraps of metal whatsoever. Take a very soft bristled brush and scrub everything. Don't do anything that's going to scratch the block. So inspect all these grooves. These all look great. Just the bearings on those seem a little heat damaged, so we're probably not going to reuse those. With that surface cleaned, we're going to hit everything with brake clean. Get all this gunk off. There's a bunch of metal shavings. Get in all the thing. Get a compressor. I would highly suggest you get a compressor so you can blow out all these holes afterwards. So fill up those. Clean up all these bearings, the insides. Buy a lot of brake clean, you know. It's a cheap thing. It's better to do that than scratch some bearings and make your engine fail 10,000 miles earlier. So, AutoZone, spend 20 bucks on a bunch of degreasers. It'll be worth it. With everything clean, I'm gonna put the crankshaft bearings back on and start installing some of the smaller stuff like the oil pump and getting the pistons ready. So we're gonna move all the wrist pins out and onto the new rods. We're gonna use assembly lube on all this stuff just to make sure it's lubricated properly. Then to get the Nismo oil pump on, it bolts right up. You just have to remove the pins on either side that hold it in. It's going to be these little guys. You're going to remove those pins, then line up the gear on the inside, and then line up your holes. And they will all line up perfectly. It just won't stay in place until it's bolted down because where those pins are makes the bolt not line up. So you just tilt it till the bolt lines up and it'll fit fine. I'm going to begin cleaning all the pistons. So I'm going to take off all the rings. I'm going to size them in the motor to make sure they're going to be the best size for boost. I got to do some more research and I'll include what those sizes are. Then I'm going to clean up all this. You got to take the wrist pin out, so that's going to be using your snap ring pliers. So take that out, clean everything. I got metal shavings all in here. Just make sure all of those are gone. Keep everything in order. Just do one piston at a time, just so you don't mix them up. They're all labeled. If you're gonna clean the tops, I'm probably going to a little more. Only do one at a time so you can rewrite the label back on top and you don't get them confused. I'm not too sure how much it matters if they go in the wrong cylinder holes, but better to be safe than sorry. You're gonna take your snap ring pliers. I have this 90 on it. You're gonna place it in each of the holes. You're gonna pinch. Okay, it's hard to do with one hand, but you're gonna pinch in. It'll loosen it up, and then you're gonna slide it out. All right, so now we're just gonna clean the head, and we gotta measure it. So I got this straight edge on Amazon that's accurate to 0.001 of an inch, which is important because the block cannot be more warped, or the head cannot be more warped than 0.004. If it's more than that, then you need to get it resurfaced. So I'm gonna take all these valve caps off, so they just slide right out. But I'm gonna number them every single one, just so I know the spot they've been taken out of. I'm not sure if you need to do that, but better to be safe than sorry. All right, so you're gonna check it in 3 ways. You're gonna place the straight edge on there like that. I'm trying to figure out a way to hold my phone too. All right, you're gonna place it on there like that. You're gonna grab your feeler gauge. The most it can do is 0.004. So you're gonna feel under each of these, see how it doesn't go through? And you're gonna make sure there's no gaps at all along this whole line. You're gonna do a cross section, cross like that, and across the center. You can also do as many directions, just make sure every direction is perfectly level within that spec. If it's less than that, then you're good. If it's more than that, then you need to resurface your head. So for me, in my case, I think I lucked out and this one's perfectly fine. So we're gonna check the other one. And if that one's good too, then that'll be great. Save ourselves some money. The next thing we're gonna do is a leak down test. You're gonna pour water into the head where the valves are. fill it to the top, and you're just gonna watch for leaks. If it leaks, then your valves aren't sealing right. So you need to re-grind down each of the valve holes and make sure they're sealing properly. I just stuck a glove in there just so I could see, and it looks great in that one. We're gonna go through each of these, just cover up the spark plug hole and check to make sure all of them aren't leaking at all. So after you've checked both heads, you're gonna reinstall all the caps back into their places, put them back in order, clean up the head as much as possible. You always want to just put clean products back on the build. The block's very clean, it's basically done. We're waiting on the rods. We got VVT delete cams coming and a new set of bearings for those. So check all these again, just like the other one. And after that, we can start reassembling the engine.